Alan, let's start with the smoking ban, of course, because the vote happened. There's a plan to ban anybody born after 2009 from buying cigarettes, and Rishi Sunak got it through.
Got it through, despite some of his own MPs. I mean, there was nearly 50% of Conservative MPs either abstained or voted against. Almost 50%.
Yeah.
163 either abstained or voted against. But it was the right thing to do. And it's the timing that's important. I was Health Secretary when we introduced the smoking ban in clubs and pubs and all of that.
Yep.
And we were expecting
we're
expecting a tougher ride than we had. But the point is, the public supported it because it was the right timing. They'd been educated over the years to see the harm that tobacco was doing. They wanted the government to do something on public health. And so it worked. And I think this will work as well. I think this is the right timing.
Vanessa, as Alan was saying, there was some resistance from some prominent Tory MPs.
Absolutely.
Liz Truss has said it is emblematic of the technocratic establishment in this country that wants to limit people's freedom, and another example of our country's health police.
Well, it's a very difficult one, this one, because to say I'm not going to vote in favour of banning something that makes people desperately ill, causes the NHS a whole lot of problems and costs us all a lot of money, you know, can damage unborn babies in the womb. I mean, it's very serious. So to vote against banning it is a big deal. On the other hand, what people think that they're voting against is the banning of adults in this country making free choices. Right. So, you know, if you want to have a bar of chocolate, you should probably choose a stick of celery. But if you're over a certain age and it's your money and you came by it honestly and you decide to have 3 bars of chocolate, it's up to you. Do you want the government giving you a weekly sugar ration and saying, you know, you can have half a flake every fortnight, that's all, because of your teeth and your health? Of course you don't. Same with alcohol. Do you want the government saying you can have this tiny cherry brandy once a fortnight and no more when you're a grown-up? You don't. So it's all about personal liberty as an adult. And part of our liberty has been choosing to smoke. But it's so complicated because, of course, as soon as you become addicted, there's no choice involved at all. Yeah. No. So the idea that voting against a smoking ban is voting for liberty and the right to choose to be whatever you want to be as an adult, you know, a drunk, a degenerate, fat, toothless.
There's no need to be personal about it.
It's up to you. So it's a very difficult one, but I would find it very hard to vote against a smoking ban.
There's also technical issues here, because it is true that there'll come a time when a 25-year-old lighting up a fag can do it legally and a 24-year-old won't be able to do it legally. And
one day difference.
How do you enforce that? Yeah. And we thought that New Zealand was going to be in the vanguard of this because they'd suggested the policy, and then they've withdrawn it. So it's England now that's in the lead on this, with no other countries that we can use to see how it works down.
And we do have a time-honoured tradition of your older brother buying you a packet of fags, don't we? I mean, you don't have to be a certain age to get older.
It's changed, though, now, hasn't it? Don't you feel like kids now aren't smoking as much as they used to?
It's a minority pursuit now, which is why, you know, if you tried this 20, 30 years ago, I mean, I remember, you know, when you got on the tube in London, there were only 2 carriages for non-smokers.
Yeah.
One near the front and one near the back.
Everyone else
could get on the plane.
On an aeroplane, there were smoking seats on a plane.
Yeah.
And also everyone's dad, and quite a lot of people's mums, used to light up in the car with all the windows closed and the kids in the back of the car. No one seemed to bat an eyelid at it, not at all. But now my kids say that when they see people smoking, they feel as if they didn't get the memo. Right. So it doesn't look cool. It looks like they just didn't realise it was going to really hurt them, so they shouldn't be doing it.
Vaping's the next thing, isn't it? That we still don't know long-term what the impact of vaping is. But as you were saying, is the younger generation aren't necessarily smoking, but they are picking up vaping, which is so much more accessible and easy to get their hands on. And whether that's somewhere down the line, that's going to have an impact, because we just don't have the studies, Alan, because it's such a sort of more...
but what we do know, I mean, this is called the Smoking and Vaping Bill. I'm not sure what they're going to do on vaping, but we do know that vaping's helped a lot of people to stop smoking.
Of course.
And for all the reasons Vanessa said, you know, we know now that the result of smoking, there's no question about it. The science is very clear.
Well, it kills 80,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Costs the NHS and the economy an estimated £17 billion annually.
But we also know that they're allowed to target vapes at very young people, so they've got sweet little flavours, peach blossom, chewing gum, bubble gum, pretty colours, you know, they look attractive in the way that they haven't been allowed to advertise cigarettes for years and years now. Decades they haven't been able to do that. So, you know, next step.